All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Known Heretic channel. We are going live. We are just about to start the second rally in Santee, California, on behalf of Rebecca, a 17-year-old young woman who saw a naked man in the YMCA dressing room. Of course, this is a thing that we are seeing more and more these days. Those of you who follow me know that I staged a protest in my own hometown on behalf of 80-year-old Julie Jaman, who also saw a man in the woman's dressing room. That man was helping young girls on with their bathing suits. So this is a continued problem that we're seeing. We're just about to go to the rally in a few minutes, but in the studio, before we begin, I have the wonderful Mrs. Dr. Suzanne Vierling. Suzanne has 25 years of leadership experience in higher education, management, mental health, and has provided organizational consultation to international communities, community-based organizations from Eastern Europe, how do you say Malawi? Malawi, India, South America. She holds a PhD in clinical psychology, and she also teaches West African dance. So I am so excited to have Suzanne here in the studio with me today. I have had the absolute pleasure of standing by her side at other activist events, starting way back in 2021 at Women Picket DC in front of the White House. That was where we met. And I have just had the absolute pleasure of watching your work and your commentary on this issue, which I so appreciate. So welcome.
Thank you, Amy. It's always wonderful to be with you and to talk with you. You know, we're always plotting and planning.
We are.
And I think that you are literally our live news reporting in the United States. I mean, it's phenomenal. And so I just want to give you kudos and gratitude for that.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. It is absolutely my pleasure to bring these events to people. I think it is just so important. As Kay Yang and I always say, this is the public record of our dissent. So this is the work that we do. The media does not tell these stories. We do not get much coverage. And often, even when right-wing news sources do tell our stories, they are still telling them not from a women's perspective. So this is why it is so important that we tell our own stories, that we put our own media out there, that we share it amongst ourselves, that we platform our own voices. This is incredibly important to do. So I am so excited that you are also here with me today.
I love that.
So I'm gonna just do a little presentation. I want to show people. This is right here. This is the man in question, and his name is Christine Wood, which I think is very interesting. This man has a pattern now of going into women's locker rooms, suing gyms for not allowing him. The Crunch Gym that was in El Cajon, California, they actually offered him the option to go into the VIP men's locker room so that he would not have to disrupt women in their locker room. But instead of choosing VIP, that wasn't good enough for him. He insisted that he needs to shower and change with women. So this is absolutely a boundary violation for all women. Right now, this man is claiming that he has self-castrated. I don't know if that is true or not. It's not clear clear if it's true. That's just what he is asserting. However, it doesn't matter. It does not matter because we still don't allow castrated men in our spaces. Castrated men are not women. I also want to all right. I'm gonna stop that. Stop. Okay. That piece was put up by the lovely Kay Yang on her Instagram, the deprogrammer. That is Mr. Wood speaking in his own words, describing what has happened. You know, everyone can see with our own eyes that that is a man. And Suzanne, I wanted to bring you on. I know you are in the San Diego area, and I wanted to uh, just ask you for some context about the area, and also just to share some of your insights about the little propaganda narrative that is beginning to happen around this story.
Well, this is a very, very fascinating, powerful situation that's lining up between race and sex or gender. Y'all, I'm old. Today's my birthday. I still say
Oh, yeah, happy birthday!
when I say the word sex, I always think, that's the act. Don't say that, say gender. But anyway, you please. I know what is happening between the differentiation between those two terms. But we have a community here in San Diego who has stood up in ways that that really is a template for everybody to follow. I mean, it's very powerful. Political leadership, elected officials, women, and don't beat me up too bad, Rad Films, men. So you have this whole community from top down, men and women, standing together for the protection of women and children. It's very powerful.
Yep.
Very powerful. I was
sorry.
shocked. No, that's fine. I was shocked to see it so, so organized. So not just, 50 women standing out there by themselves being egged, threatened with murder, signs grabbed from them, pushed. People don't know that 80-year-old woman was physically attacked.
Yeah.
You were, and other women were, but she was, and she's 80-year-old woman. And now this is coming from a community, and you're going to see it. It's going to come out. So this is a community that has a reputation around race and racism.
Yep.
Okay, so it's there and it's out there. So now you have this African-American individual, okay, in this thing. So now you have this, no, that community is racist and they're lying. And you have a community that's standing up for sex-based rights, for women's sex-based rights. So now those two things are gonna go like this.
Yep.
Okay, it's very powerful when really race has nothing to do with it.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with it. And a lot of times when we hear the term race, when we talk about race, it really does not include women. It does not include Black women. So we have this situation all across the United States where all women are having to deal with men in our private, or what should be our private. All women.
Yeah.
There are Black women who have to whisper it. Oh my gosh, I was in the bathroom and I saw a man exposed. Oh my goodness, in the, you know, in the military, that, you know, that there are also Black girls that have been sexually assaulted
Yeah.
in bathroom spaces. It's not a race specific phenomena that we are experiencing. We all know about the prisons, and we all have seen the faces of all women, but definitely Black women.
Yeah.
And,
Well, and do you think this you know, sort of the way that the media, the left wing liberal media is covering this? I mean, I mean, I would assert yes, it is, but it's obviously having an impact on you know, creating this, you know, guilt response in white people. So we're not supposed to, you know, all of a sudden this man is mentioning Dr. King, and so we're supposed to pull back and no longer protect our daughters because, you know, he's got this little narrative working for him.
well, I want to say to anybody that wants to bring up race as a shield to block the protection of women and children, to say, protect all women and children. Please stand up, protect all women and children.
Yeah.
It's not a white phenomena. It's not a white woman phenomena. It is a all woman phenomena.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna, you know, if you bring up race, I'll say, well, what are you doing for Black women who've been raped in bathrooms? What are you doing for Black women? You know, that would be a response. What are you doing for all these Black women that are clearly in these lawsuits?
Yeah.
What did you do for all the women, including Black women in Idaho, when they were raped over a weekend period, incarcerated women raped over a weekend period? What are you doing for the Black women up in Chowchilla, California? What are you doing for Black girls that, you know, are covering their bodies in bathrooms that they have to share in sports and track and field, in basketball? We've all seen the pictures, you see? So this is intersectionality right in our faces. You have race and sex. The rubber hits the road when you put race and sex together. So you have a community saying, no, we're standing up for women and children. It's going to set a tone for the nation to follow, where people have to stick, where this is what it looks like when people stick together: men, women, political leaders, elected officials, neighbors, everything. That's great. So any community can do it. Muslim communities can copy the template, Black communities can, whoever wants to stand up to this can use it as a template. Don't let it get clouded by race, because if people want to bring up race, I'm always going to say, what about? I get to do whataboutism back. We get to do whataboutism back.
I love that. I love that. And, you know, and I know that you have your personal activism is strongly connected to helping and empowering incarcerated women. I know that you have worked with Amy Ichikawa, and you know, these are the absolutely most invisibilized women in our communities.
You know, and I follow Amy Ichikawa's lead. I think Amy is the rock star name because, oh my goodness, there's so many. It's awesome. But Amy Ichikawa, she's Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a Japanese woman who's leading it, and a leader in the United States on the rights of these voiceless women.
Yep.
She's Japanese. She told me it's Indigenous Hawaiian, African American, Muslim American women whose rights to their religious freedom rights are being violated. Their rights to modesty is being violated. European American women, Mexican American women, and possibly Native American. I'm not sure if there's Kumeyaay, but all nationalities of women have been complaining, and it has been sexually abused, sexually assaulted, degraded, um, uh, torture, incidents of extreme torture. And it's just completely ignored. It's just completely ignored. So if you're going to talk about race, women of color are the intersect of race and sex. So you cannot separate those two things.
Yeah. And I heard when Amy Ichikawa went to the Let Women Speak in LA, she did this really powerful thing, which is that she used her phone to call a currently incarcerated woman and played that on air. It was incredible. And one of the things that struck me as so powerful about that speech is that it was a woman who was telling her story. She had been raped, molested, abused, trafficked as a young child, and in fact fighting against her trafficker is what landed her in prison. But she was saying that this early childhood abuse, which began as she remembers as early as 2, maybe younger, put her in a position where she felt that her body was not her own. And it was not until she was in prison that she heard a woman say no during a strip search. She heard another woman say no, and she described that one little word, no, empowered her. It changed her perspective. She didn't realize it was a word that women could say. And so it led her to become an activist from within, inside the system. So she is an activist inside the system, which of course puts her at extreme odds and disadvantage and up for punishment. And she has a lot to fight against. But I just want to underscore that these women who find themselves in the prison system, often this history that she described is not uncommon.
Right.
These are the women who have already been groomed through abuse.
Right. You have those women in New Jersey that gave birth to children, gave birth as a result of men being moved into prisons. They got pushed into the corner. I call it a Sophie's choice. Okay. And then, of course, the left publishes how the women were consenting. They liked it, blah, blah, blah. We know how that is a tool of control to always say the woman liked it, she consented, blah, blah, blah. We always like to say that. Now we have 2 children orphaned to the system. It's just horrific. Well, how, they like it. Well, you have women that are groomed into disassociating from their bodies, and anybody can touch and do anything to you because you've dealt with it since you were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Well, when women say no, which is what happened in Santee, you have women who say no, and the whole community believes and rallies. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful.
Believe, and not minimize the anxiety, not minimize fear. We've been like this women have been like this for 10,000 years for good reason. We've been traded, turned into currency, enslaved, shipped all over the world. So it's very, very natural to recoil. And the beauty of believing is what's so I just wanted to just tie that back in but raising the voice so powerfully and believing taking it seriously helps all what's happening in the United States. It helps other bathroom issues, the prison, sports, writing us out of law, calling us labia haver and black birthing body and Barbie pouch and all of these utterly degrading things. This whole system, this whole campaign of pressing us down into 3rd and 4th positioning as we move into a new economy that projects that 59% of jobs that women have now will not be around. Okay. We know Let's not play games. We know that's very serious. So I focus on the big picture, the totality of the picture. I don't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always
Can
talk
I
about
have
that.
you, I mean, I know, I have heard you speak on this before, so I know what you are referring to when you are linking the concepts of slavery and Black birthing bodies to the current Dylan Mulvaney and Barbie pouch. But
Mhm.
can you unpack that a little bit for us? Because I just think it's so important to say again and again, and just to lay it out clearly for women.
Well, uh, when African American women came to the United States, African American women came to the United States as spoil of war.
Yeah.
You have your battles. Men fight amongst each other, and women lose. So, and I'm not trying to deny that, but we're focused, we're talking about the subjugation of women as a class, as if we were a tribe or an ethnic group. This is what's happening to us. So women came to the United States and immediately were renamed multiple things. And so it's very dangerous when you are renamed and you are given a category and a purpose as opposed to being a whole human being. So African American women came, or women came, I say American women are here as named chattel, collateral, bond, sex slave, bondwoman, birthing body, breeder. And then how do you plant the seed? Well, you obviously, sex and the vagina and all of that. Wet nurse, and all of that. And a lot of people don't realize that Black women were the currency of half of the United States, but it benefited the whole United States and the Dutch banks and the London banks. Okay, so Black women were currency, cash, and if you had a fertile Black woman, you can say you can mortgage her, lease her out. You could take a loan on her as long as there was proven fertility. And this was the agrarian economy. I call it the feminine agrarian economy, where it was just you had no problems. You could have 20 female slaves with proven fertility, and you take out a loan, you mortgage, you lease them out, blah blah blah. All the babies were considered interest, and that was the economy. So let's say you got into some bad debt. Well, you could say, "Oh, let me hurry up. Maybe I'll lease them out, and I could bring in some cash flow." Or you could just say, "Oh well, I got to let go of this bad debt." Or somebody could come along and buy your debt at a discount. Get the slaves at a discount and then repurpose them in another way. So Black women had all these names, all these titles, all this dehumanizing language. So there's no empathy. There's no empathy. There's no, oh, that's a human being. That's a woman. That's a human being. No, the woman's womb became the economy, the agrarian economy debtor. It wasn't until Alexander Hamilton, he was like, hey, we need paper currency. We need a consistent banking system. And Thomas Jefferson was like, no, we have an agrarian economy that's based on debt. And Hamilton was like, no, we need an economy based on credit. And so that you had that battle. And it was like literally the Black woman's body.
Yeah.
So then Black women have had to fight to let go of all of this dehumanizing stuff, which includes today saying, oh, you're not masculine. I mean, you're not feminine, blah, blah, blah. All of that. We've had to fight all along the way to just be a woman, just a woman, a free woman, and all of that. And now we're going back to it. You have to be very careful when when your culture starts talking about you as vagina, it starts talking about you as your sexual parts in your womb. Hey, this is the beginning stages of a repeat of history. It's not going to look exactly the same, but it's just shocking how we have the left in support of this language that comes directly from chattel slavery and also other times in our history. So I hope that's helpful. Is that what Amy was?
That is exactly what I wanted to hear. I love the way you unpack that. I loved this word, where did I put it up on the screen? The femina agrarian economy.
I coined that term because I was like, what am I talking about here? So I call it the femina agrarian capitalism. And all throughout history, when cultures got in trouble, they resorted to using the woman's body and turning it into a form of currency. Even today, like in Syria, you have people, they're trying to make the journey from Syria to Europe. Okay. And the men, boom, if they run out of money, they look at their wives. Hey, your body is currency. You got to use your body for us to finish this journey to get to Europe. And as soon as they get to Europe, he's done with her, right? Because he's turned her into currency, and now he don't want her anymore.
And the combined, this is, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're speaking about, this is not just a historical analysis. This is current.
Right.
And I think that we aren't kind of getting that big picture. And I love that you're bringing that in because, as well. And I know that sometimes we don't focus on this as much, but the combined business of porn, trafficking, prostitution, and surrogacy are in the trillions of dollars of the global economy.
Right.
So this is an economy that still runs very much on the bodies and backs of women and our reproductive capacities.
Absolutely. And then I want to talk about a class-based.
Yes.
Also, foster care is a big business.
Yes.
That's poor women. And you have these gender surgeries as upper income, wealthier women. So you have this, how are we going to use the children? So I just wanted to just throw that in there because those are class-based distinctions, putting a dollar figure on children,
So on the one hand, the class who is in a lesser economy are having their children taken from them, put into foster care. These kids are removed from their parents. They are basically, now they become of value. Someone else is making money from hosting them.
That's right.
And then
on the system, because millions of dollars goes to each county.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not the foster parent is getting over. No, it's multiple salaries and no analysis on what are we going to do? We're literally taking the children from poor women who have untreated severe mental illness or poverty, just pushed into poverty, where you end up making day-to-day decisions that don't work out well for you and your children, and should be preventable things, or at least less. It should be like a perpetual business that just keeps going and going and going. And now we see the dollar sign on these girls that tend to come from higher income families. So
Well, and then I was speaking about this the other day. They got into it was kind of I don't know how they started this, but Benjamin Boyce and Megan Murphy got into this conversation about porn, and I know that Kay Yang speaks on this. You speak on this. I know Alex Aaron speaks on this. Ellie Arrow speaks on this. I know so many amazing women who are speaking on this, but this commodification it's a commodification at the same time that it is a dehumanization, and there are many young women who are seeing this commodification of and compartmentalization of and hypersexualization and objectification, and they're opting out, and they're buying in
Right.
to this notion, this very wrong notion that they can opt out of their own sex class.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. It's so hard. Last year I did the march, the women's march for abortion. They didn't even say the word woman. They talked about everything but woman. They had the names.
Wow.
Said, Lord have mercy. So I could just imagine what girls are going through to even reconfigure their mindset to opt out of womanhood. I mean, that is something that you talk about, and some of our other sisters talk about so crystal clearly. Jennifer Billick and Alex Golden and everybody.
Yeah.
It's powerful. I'm still wrapping my head around that. I love to look at the data and I see that it's mostly these young girls, and it's powerful. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
We have into an anti-woman climate, and it's so blatant. When I hear Dylan, what's his name?
Mulvaney.
Call women Barbie pouch. Okay. And then 2 political figures don't correct him. And in fact, lift him up. The Pritzker and our president. Okay. You're not going to correct him for degrading women and talking about reducing women to some funky comment. I mean, we're not stupid. Barbie and a pouch. We're not stupid. Okay, we get it. It's not cute, and it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that there are all these terms for our anatomy, our femina, our womanhood, our womb, and our feminine. So it's not a coincidence. It's a mindset that's trying to trickle in to the soil of our Western culture, and it's not okay, and it is very dangerous.
Yeah. And as we're waiting, we're just so everyone knows, this is ultimately a rally on behalf of 17-year-old Rebecca Phillips, who encountered a naked man inside the women's locker room. Right now, for those of you tuning in, we are talking with Dr. Suzanne Forbes Vierling and just getting some grounding and background on the situation, and on more of a global perspective, intersectional and global perspective on what is at work in the narrative and propaganda around this movement, how these things are all related, interconnected. So I thank you, Suzanne, for speaking about this, absolutely, and going into some of these areas that are invisible. What is happening in women's prisons is ultimately invisibilized. What happens in that foster care system is ultimately invisibilized. And I'm wondering if you would comment a little bit on motherhood itself, because I know that you and I do actually have a feminist analysis and a feminist critique. However, of course, feminism itself, much like LGB, has become co-opted and force teamed and rewritten. And there is a very strong narrative in some of the choice-based or equality-based liberal feminism, which is very anti-natalist, can be very anti-mother. And I feel that one of the things that is so disturbing about this entire narrative is the degradation of women as creatrixes of life. And I know that you speak to this as well, and I'm wondering if you would talk a little bit about that now.
Well, you have women, unfortunately, I don't even know if I could call them feminists, liberal feminists who are participating in abdicating womanhood.
Yeah.
Prostitution. Oh, it's just fine. Let's regulate it. Sex work is work. Motherhood. Oh, surrogacy, no problem. Anybody, how wonderful. And you're a bad person if you don't think it's okay. Even when you say to women, do you know that most people don't know how these babies turn out, where they're going, what flight they're on, what their destination is, what the purpose was of producing them, if they're okay? We're not going to talk about it at all, and so again, the womb from the very beginning, at least in the United States, for money, right? The birthing body. And then all the way through to being very casual today about how children come into the world and just letting it go. You see women in the comment section talking about uterus transplants, really, and talking about babies being made and produced outside the womb. And so there is just this complete lack of understanding of how bad things could be, how bad things can get. And to, anything related to the woman, there's like a little negative tinge. I remember when we couldn't make baby food.
Yeah.
There was last year we couldn't make baby food. Well, what happened? Everybody comes out, well, women should have been breastfeeding. It's always some blame and shame. Well, you should really? Okay. So especially after time passed where they told women, no, you have to dry up your milk because it's not good enough, and now today, oh, you should have been breastfeeding, all the gaslighting and all of that. So I don't know if I know that we've had several conversations on that. I don't know if I touched on what.
Yeah, I mean, you did in in the sense that, I mean, this is such a it's such a okay, hold on, I'm getting a link for someone. I don't know if this will work. Daniela, thank you, Daniela, for attempting that link. I'm gonna try and put a new link in the comments for that. But I guess it's just it's that we are everything that is everything that really has to do with women is under attack. And I think that while there are many of us, I don't personally have children, but there is something so important about women coming together around mothers, the activity of motherhood. And I worry sometimes because this notion of choice, that having birth is a choice, which in a way I guess it's a choice, but it's not a choice among choices. It's not a choice of like, do I want a tuna fish sandwich or peanut butter and jelly? Because giving birth is part of our primary directive. This is part of our humanity. It's part of our animal instincts. This is an instinctual species drive. And I see so much of these current ideologies. So I recognize that porn, trafficking, all of that has the same ideology as trans, which is dehumanization and dissociation from our lived animal instincts and our humanity. And I feel like treating motherhood as a choice among choices, and not giving weight to the fact that it is a drive that comes from within you, is it's denying that part of our embodiment, our animal nature, and it's such a beautiful thing.
Well, again, it's commodified. So, oh, I can just use that womb. Well, no, that
Yeah.
womb is attached to a human being. Or, oh, okay, well, now I have this baby and I've declared the mother unfit. So now we're not even going to talk about her anymore. Now we're just dealing with the baby and passing the baby through the different systems within Health and Human Services, child welfare, da 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 da. Or, oh, I'm just going to give up my eggs. I remember one time I was like, I made a little post, don't sell your eggs. And people, why not? Because you could be a mother 10 times over and you don't even know it. You don't know what's happening with your egg. So stop digging in the woman's body and picking it apart. That's what's happening. The egg has a dollar sign. The amniotic fluid has a dollar sign. Breast milk has a dollar sign. The woman's body for, prostitution or sex work has a dollar sign. Everything has a dollar sign on our bodies, and we're being spanked as bad girls for speaking up about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I've seen some things done with surrogacy. I'm like, oh my God, that couple got an egg because they wanted their baby to come out with straight hair. That couple got the egg and got an embryo because they thought those children shouldn't be aborted. So you just had them just to have them. Then we have people that have kids. I'm sorry, they use the kids in child abuse, child sexual abuse. Then you have people who get twins and triplets and can't handle them. So it's, or resell them. I hate to say that, but
I know.
I hate to say that. So it's just everything now is that comes from the woman has a dollar sign and can be broken apart. And if you say something, you not only have this force that comes up against you, sometimes that force that comes up against you has a female face. And you're like, come on, at least, stand together and do something with your sisters, not against your sisters,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think this is so important because, of course, what we are seeing right now, this body dissociation, and commodification, this notion that women are objectified things. This is exactly what is at work when we see this man who is going into women's rooms. This is exactly what is at work in his little fantasy, that he can be a woman because he has objectified an idea of us, because he is performing these activities that he has associated with femininity. And this is where this boundary violation comes into play. And for those of you who are waiting, my women on the ground are in communication with me, and they're just getting things set up. So thank you for joining us in this conversation as we are giving you all some grounding in what is happening. But Suzanne, it's just so it's really important for these connections to be made, because it's this ideology of absolute dissociation from our instincts, from our humanity. We are, instead of, every one of us here, we look at this man, we see a man, but there's this cognitive dissonance attached to this word trans. It is a linguistic ploy, it's a gambit, it's a trick in order to take you out of your body, take you out of your instincts and your primary reactions, and to get you to get into a mental space where you have to think about this man and his getup. You have to mentally analyze his freaking style choices, and think that he is something other than what you sense that he is.
Well, we're grooming an entire generation to lower their eyes in submission. Just submit.
Yeah,
just submit. You are a woman. Lower your eyes and submit.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna say hi. All right, this is oops, I got her out of the stream. This is another Suzanne. This is Mother Rocking on Twitter. Can you tell us how this is going?
Yes, I can. We're just about to get started with a few speakers, but I have to say that I think they knew this was going to happen, but there are some groups who are, I don't know how to say this, but you don't always want to affiliate yourselves with them at a rally, right?
Got it.
There's far left groups here, but there's also some far right groups that, they often just come to make mischief. So we have some speakers who are not coming. There are also some community members who are not coming because of that. I think they kind of pulled up and saw what was going on. So that's kind of what's going on. I like to say I'm just a mom. I'm really naive to a lot of this stuff, these extremist groups, so to speak. And I'm always like, look, if you're on my side, I feel a lot more comfortable than if I'm against you, right? And if they're speaking out against this ideology and they're speaking out to protect women and they are here to protect women, that's fine with me, right? Because again, that's the
yeah.
Anyways, they're about to get started, so I think there's a stream going that.
Yeah,
I know Becky was going to be up there right in the front.
I've got both of you up there, so I'll just keep covering Suzanne and I. Here we go. All right, I'm going to put this speaker up. Suzanne, if you want to stick around and we can have conversation when this is over, you are very welcome. But thank you so much for being here. And you are also, you are not under obligation to stay. I really thank you for your grounding in this topic.
Thank you so much, Amy. I want you to do your thing. Cover this. I will sign off so that you do. Amy is our own CNN. I just love you, Amy.
I love you so much. And keep working on that book. I love you. I want to buy it. I can't wait to see it.
Okay. Love you. Will you log me out? I don't know how to do it.
I will log you out. All right. Okay.
Love you.
Bye. Okay, we're gonna go live with this.
If you're an uncle, if you're a brother, right? If you're a grandma, whoever you are, we have a responsibility to protect the next generation, to raise up the next generation with grace, with truth, having them have an opportunity to not have their innocence robbed from them, to not have their innocence manipulated and abused, but to be protected. And what's the saddest thing is when politicians and leaders in our community choose to go along with lies and narrative rather than actually speaking the truth, standing up for what is basically right and true for the sake of protecting our children. I'm reminded in the Bible, the greatest book, the book of all books, the truth that stands forever and the truth that sets men and women free. This is the way, the truth, the Bible says, and the life. The problem is when we reject truth, we embrace death, we embrace evil, we embrace the kind of perversion that we saw, unfortunately, represented by an organization that for decades had represented the raising up and the training of Christian young men rather than celebrating an absolute rejection of that truth. Proverbs 9 verse 10 says, "For the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." The truth is, when we reject God, when we reject truth, foundational truths, the laws of nature, the law of how men and women are, the law of the truth of gender, the law of the truth of our biology, the law of how God designed us, we begin to embrace all kinds of foolishness that ends in the exposure and manipulation and abuse of our most valued and precious young children. So today, as a pastor of Awakened Church, we want to take a stand against this kind of insanity, this kind of foolishness, because we know that whether it may not be the accepted narrative of the hour, if we love people and we love truth, then we are going to take a stand. So I want to begin. I know we have some other great speakers, so I'm going to stop my speech and I just want to pray. I want to invite the presence of God in this place. I want to acknowledge him and lift his name up, because without the acknowledgement of God and the fear of the Lord, we will find ourselves continuing to spiral down towards depravity. But we have an opportunity as citizens of this great nation, as those who live in this city and in this region, to take a stand and call people back to truth. Amen? Amen. Let's pray. Let's pray and turn our hearts towards heaven, the creator of heaven and earth. We love you, God. We're so thankful for your goodness. And today we come together as those who are taking a stand for the youth, taking a stand for our children, taking a stand for righteousness. And Father God, we lift up your name that is above every name. We come against this manipulation and perversion and lies that would cause a stealing and a robbery of the youth and the innocence of this next generation. We condemn it. We condemn every agreement that would come in alignment with the lies that a man can dress up as a female or call themselves a female and go in and expose and violate the innocence of young people. It's a lie. It's a perversion. And we as parents and as those who honor the God that created the heavens and the earth, we stand against it and oppose, and we declare truth and life in Jesus' name. There's only one truth. There's only one grace. There's only one life, and that is in Jesus Christ. And we acknowledge that today in Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. Amen. God bless you guys.
That was awesome, right? Woo! Thank you, Samuel. All right, guys, for our second speaker, we're going to have Mike and Robin Forzano. Yes, give them a round of applause, guys.
Hi, good afternoon, Santee and all members of this community here. Thank you all for being here. We're so proud and honored to be here on behalf of Lexit, and we thank you all for coming out for this tremendous effort and cause that we are fighting for. I want to start off by reading a little something. Foundation. The act of founding, especially the establishment of an institution with provisions for future maintenance. The basis on which a thing stands is founded or is supported. Funds for the perpetual support or institution of an empowered and growing foundation. That's what this is. And when our forefathers created this country, they knew what they were creating this country standing on. They knew that we needed something bigger than ourselves to believe in. They knew it. That's why they created all of the things that guide us today. Without God and without something bigger than ourselves, we fall. We lose ground on what's true. And when you move the goalpost, you lose out on everything that's strong, everything that stands firm. I'm going to read something else here. Faith is grounded on God's word. We'll stand strong like a house on a rock. Through storms of life, we will accord a firm foundation, strength it won't lack. Those who say that they have faith use each in struggle. Words have a way of exposing the heart, and Christ himself said the great truth. What is inside it, these will impart. Our words bear reality of our fruit. God cannot be mocked or thrilled. A man would be sure to reap what he sows. Let's speak what he said and not forfeit our faith, for God sees the heart and he knows. We have to stand strong and we have to come together. It doesn't matter what religion you deal with, as long as you believe in something bigger than you. We have to stand together. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you here today who knows what's right and what's wrong. And when our kids are put in a position where they no longer have a foundation, that's time for us to get involved. So I thank you again. Thank you.
This is not anti-gay. This is not anti-trans. This is anti a man that looks like Ronnie Coleman with a wig on in the locker room with an underage girl naked. This is also about the fact that the very same individual, regardless of him being trans, about 4 or 5 years to gain access, was awarded $5 million out of money now. All of that aside, if the transgender person that was in this locker room had gone through the full transition to the point of which you couldn't tell that he was a man or a woman, it wouldn't have even caught the attention of the young woman who was in fear for her life. All across this country, everywhere, in every business, Jack in the Box, you name it, we have accommodated across this nation for transgender and gender neutral rights. There are bathrooms and facilities that are gender neutral. These facilities were offered to this individual, and he demanded his way into the women's restroom as though it was not good enough. If we're to come to the middle ground and provide gender neutral spaces, and they're going to demand more, then we demand change. We attempted to come to middle ground. We have transgender facilities, but that's not good enough for them. This man, who very obviously looks like a man, got out of the shower naked. If she didn't even see the front of him, you could tell he's a man. It's disgusting, despicable, perverted, and gross that the same individual is doing this. There is a middle ground, and us and this country have tried to accommodate with gender neutral facilities everywhere, gender neutral policies in every business. That's not good enough. They want in there with your girls. They want in there with your daughters. and your wives regardless. They're trying to minimize it, saying, that wasn't a man, that was a transgender woman.
Born with a dick, you're not
It
a
is
dick.
impossible to misgender this individual. He couldn't put on enough makeup. We deserve in this country the right to the safety of our children and our wives and daughters, and men and women and patriots and Christians alike for this nation. Coming together are warriors for the light to stop this disgusting, poisonous ideology from spreading any further through this nation. Ronald Reagan said it best. There is a line to which they cannot pass, and there is a line to which we must say, you cannot move forward.
Yeah.
This is that line, and we will not tolerate it, and we will shut this thing down every single weekend if we must. Woo! This has gotten so bad for the YMCA. Local school districts have pledged that they will not do any school events. They will not do camp. They will not do field trips until their policies are revised for the safety of our children. They are wrong, and they know it. You know how we know that? The only people that are here are these two fine warriors over there for their side. And they're here for the wrong reasons. They think we're here because we're anti-trans, anti-gay. Unfortunately, no. I just don't want my daughter to have to look at a naked man in the locker room where she's supposed to be full safe. I love every single one of you guys for coming out today. And it's my 40th birthday, and we're going to have a hell of a time. Don't you guys ever forget what this is all about. This is not about one petty protest solving the issue. This is a nationwide problem. In Arizona right now, there are gyms fighting this problem. In New York right now, there are more problems than you can think of.
Virginia.
Bigger than us.
It's way bigger than us. And it means that everybody must listen from all sides. And right now, the unreasonable ones are the people who refuse to use the facilities that were provided for them and are demanding access into the women's restroom. We are capable of much, much more as patriots and Christians and lovers of this nation. And parents, daughters and sons, grandfathers, and we will take the fight straight to them.
Every time.
They cannot push it to the point of which it's okay for our kids to be exposed to the disgusting degradation. Our children, my son, Michael, is right up here. My son, Tony, is right over there. My daughter couldn't be here. She lives in Arizona. She wanted to be, as she's a former employee of the YMCA and disgusted at what the Young Men's Christian Association stands for. She's currently being harassed by her schoolmates from high school because of my word. She's had to block people off her phone. This is the behavior of the far left when they don't like what they hear or see. We may not have liked it. We may not have liked what we see or hear, but there are transgender facilities all across this nation, aren't there? Just because we don't like it doesn't mean it wasn't provided for them. I don't have a problem with transgender people at this facility in the gender neutral spaces. Stay out of the women's locker room. And don't forget, as always, hate is for rookies. And they are the biggest rookies of them all. Rise up. And we have taken this country back. And that's obvious by looking around at this beautiful crowd today. I love you all. Have a good day.
And that's from a father's perspective, guys. We cannot allow it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, so for our next speakers, our very own San Diego chapter leaders, Martha and Carlos. Give them a round of applause.
Good morning or good afternoon. I don't even know what time it is right now. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So this is My name is Alicia, and I'm with Lexit, and I'm here from the San Diego chapter. And I had gotten phone calls letting me know about what had happened here at the YMCA and what happened to Rachel, and what she was exposed to a man that was nude Rebecca. I'm sorry, Rebecca, and that he was nude in the locker room. And so when I got these phone calls, and I started getting phone calls from the founder, and he was letting me know as well. So this is when we set up this peaceful protest for this day. And this is not just here in Santee. This is nationwide. This is happening everywhere, and children are being exposed to whatever their agenda. Well, we already know what their agenda is, and it's it's pedophilia. If they're doing this in front of children, this is pedophilia, and we need to come against this. We need to rise up together, and not I don't live here in this community, but I do get phone calls, and I do go out to every part of San Diego. When I go out and I speak to those, I get phone calls from parents wanting their adult sons to get off drugs, get off the streets. And I go there and I share the gospel with them, and I talk to them, and I tell them that they are worthy and that they need to be in serving the Lord, and this is the situation that they're in, that they need to come out from among those that are all in addiction. So this is what I do when I go out into San Diego, and this is part of this community. I come out as well. So I don't live here. I do have family that lives here, but I do come out here to reach out to those that are lost in drug addiction. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And also this touches my heart, because I am a survivor of rape. I survived the grooming, and I also survived sexual abuse as a child. So this is why I'm here. This is where my heart is, that I don't want another.
Friends, I'm figuring out why we don't have sound. I'm not sure. Are you guys hearing sound? Because
Jesus
here we
Christ,
go. Okay, great.
and come against this demonic agenda. United we stand, divided we fall. Let me repeat that again. United we stand, divided we fall. We all need to come, every color, every race. We all need to come together as the body of Christ and come against this demonic spirit, this demonic spirit that's trying to rob the innocence of the children, that's trying to take these women's rights. So we need to do this. We need to come together. We need to continue fighting. This can't just be the only peaceful protest. We need to continue doing this. We need to continue wherever this is happening. We need to stand. We need to continue. I'm getting calls from pastors. Pastors are calling me, and they started in Arizona. In Arizona, they led me here to San Diego, and we have pastors that are coming up, and they're wanting to rise up with us, with Lexit, with every patriot, every Christian. This is where we're getting calls from. So we're uniting. We're getting together. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Revival is here. In Jesus' name, revival is here. And so we need to continue help protecting the women and children's their privacy and their innocence. And I want to read Psalms 133:1 and verse 1. It says, how wonderful and pleasant it is when brothers live together in harmony. So this is the harmony that the Lord wants us to be in. Unite, believers in the Lord. Unite and fight. Fight the good fight of faith. Fight for what's right. We're getting mixed up here. Everything's going backwards and it's getting twisted up. This is the agenda of Satan. We already see that. So we need to rise up as believers. God bless you. Amen. One mind and one spirit and one accord. We have to be in one accord. Unity. Unity. God bless you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Carlos. Regular working guy, have my regular job where God helps me provide for my family. But as of the last maybe 4 years, I've been called to speak up and let my voice be heard for what's going on at places like the building behind me here. What happened to Rebecca a few weeks ago is something that we're not going to tolerate. And it's going to take beautiful people like you and patriots like you to stand up and let these politicians know up in Sacramento that what matters here is what we want and not what they want. They work for us, okay? So until the YMCA puts the safety, the privacy of our children and the women, we're going to keep letting our voices be heard. We're not going to stop. And as a father, once again, I urge everyone that's here to don't give up. Let's keep this fight going. Let's do it for the children, for the women. Let's do it for our beautiful country, for this beautiful flag. Division isn't going to work here. It's not. Because that's what's going to stop us, and it's going to try to stop us. But we're not going to let it. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep the pressure on these perverts back here. And we're not going to let up. Our families come first. Our communities come first. And these sickos need to realize that we're not against however they want to live their lives. They're free to live however they want. This is America. That's what makes this country beautiful, is that they're free to be whatever they want to be. But you need to stay the hell away from our children. That's the bottom line here. Leave the children alone. We know you guys are amongst us. We know you guys live here, and you guys have always been here. We know that. But never before have we seen this movement start approaching our children. And that's when us parents are going to rise up and stand up. We're not going to stand for that here. So please, I urge everyone here to keep fighting, keep it going, keep the pressure on them. Don't give up. We got God on our side, and that's all that matters. Because in the end, God wins. We know how this is going to end. We know this was coming. This has to happen. It's in the Bible. And every single one of you guys is part of the fight that's going to take on this evil. Okay? We are the people that God mentions in the Bible that are going to be the ones that are going to stand up. We are in California. And of course, this is where it's going to start. So it all starts here in San Diego, in Santee today, in Southern California, in the whole California state, the beautiful state of California. So keep going out there. If you guys have social media, keep putting it out there. Let these people know that we're not gonna give in to their agenda. We're gonna protect our children. We're gonna protect the women's rights, and we're gonna keep putting the pressure on these people to change their policies.
So get involved with your local politicians. Let them know what's going on. Let them know that we're not happy with what they're doing. And keep the fight going. We are the warriors of God. Remember that. And we were called for this. That's why we're here. We're going to keep going. Thank you all beautiful people for being here and supporting us. If you guys want to join the fight with us, look us up. We are Lexit.com. And we represent the San Diego chapter. Thank you guys very much.
Guys, it's Lexit, California, San Diego chapter leaders. You know, since they took over new leadership in San Diego, our Lexit chapter in San Diego has been rising. We've been doing amazing out here, guys. All right, guys, for our next speaker, we have Ben Richards, SoCal Parent Advocate.
Thank you for that wonderful speech, Carlos and Martha. And thank you, Sylvie. And thank you to Lexit. This is the first Lexit event I've ever been to. And I am happy with the crowd here. It's a beautiful day and we're standing up for what's right. Matter of fact, I like Lexit so much, maybe I can be a transracial, be a Latino. Can I join? I don't think they're going to go for that. But I'm Ben Richards. And I'm the founder of SoCal Parent Advocates, and our mission is to expose, challenge, and resist critical race theory, radical gender theory, and vaccine and mask tyranny in our schools. So we're mostly on Instagram. I'm a member of No Left Turn in Education, and I'm also a member of a Dad Army, and we are a national group of men seeking to mobilize and activate other men to protect women and children. Yeah! So first, I'm going to tell you my quick story, which starts in the school systems, not even a year ago. And then I'll eventually tie it in to how it pertains to our situation at this YMCA. So I got activated, like I said, a little less than a year ago. My little children go to an elementary school in San Diego Unified School District. And I discovered that that elementary school set up an elementary school lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer club. Now, I'm not anti-club. I'm not anti-club. All I wanted to do was to be notified if my little kids showed up to this club. I want to be notified if they show up to any club. Well, I want a permission slip system. And I asked the principal there, and they said no, that I'm not allowed to know. And I told her, I just want to know if they show up to this club, they're 6, they're 7. They can be talking about their sexuality. They can be talking about their gender. And I went all the way up to the top, to the San Diego Unified School Board, and they said no. And I couldn't sleep because I had one thought on my mind. Anyone who wants to hide things from us about our children are no friends of ours. It's unacceptable. So now I'm wrapped up in this. Look, I love y'all. I don't want to be here. I want to go skiing. I want to be hanging out with my kids. But guess what? We're in a great conflict of our times, my friends. And this situation here is connected to the schools. And make no mistake, we are in chapter 1. And chapter 1 describes this courageous groups of individuals who stood up and they did something about it. They were criticized, they were jeered at, and people call them crazy. But make no mistake, we are far ahead of our time and we're on the right side of history. And that's all of us here today. I was also here at Wednesday's rally, and I am so proud of what this community did there. And I especially want to give a shout out to an inspiration of mine, Tracy Thill. She helped organize that, and I thought that was awesome. And Wednesday's rally was groundbreaking because now we are starting to have elected officials show the courage to stand up and speak. And that's what it takes. We need leaders now. And let me tell you, I'm exposing myself to extreme risk right now. I'm exposing my family to risk, and my career for risk. But guess what? That's what it takes, and everybody needs to get on board. This is all hands on deck. One of the things that I've been surprised about talking to people, a lot of people don't know about these issues going on. And I'm going to put my first call to action out there. The conventional wisdom is to stay off social media because it's toxic. But my call to action is different. I think we should get on social media. This is how we connect. This is how we see these things that are happening here. This is how we get the flyers here. And I see, talking about leadership, all the people out here, the people who actually show up, I actually see you as leaders. Right. You are the leadership. And my second call to action is that we need to have these conversations with our friends, with our families. We need to let them know what's going on because we need more people to get activated. Another thoughts that I've been having after unpacking this radical gender theory that's going on. To me, it seems like it's based in vanity. Me, my gender, my feelings, my sexuality. And look, this is coming from a guy. I've never gone to church. I've never been a church guy, right? But I've become closer to God because, dare I say, this is a side effect of a godless society. And here's another call to action. This war is first won at home. And I've been starting to read the Bible to my children. And we need to bring faith back into the families. That's the first line of defense. So thank you very much, Freedom Revival, for showing up, and the pastors. And I'm a regional guy. I work on a lot of different districts, all the way up to Temecula and stuff. And I'm starting to see the faith community, because the faith community is starting to realize we can't cocoon in the church. We got to get out. We're all going to heaven, but what are we going to leave our kids? We're going to leave them a good world to live in because we're not going anywhere. Another interesting thing. You know, we're all different groups. We're kind of a coalition. There's some things we don't agree on. But I do want to bring up a point. There's a group out there, Gays Against Groomers. And I want to give a shout out to them because I have had so many friends and people from the LGBT community. We have a group of Gays Against Groomers here. And I can't believe the courage that they're showing to stand up against people in their own community that's trying to hijack their community. So I wanted to give a shout out to those courageous people. Right on. Right on. So I'm going to start wrapping it up, but you know, to add insult to injury, not one day after we did this thing at Santee, I go drop my kids off at school. I got parents telling me that at the elementary school, they have a weekly Wildcat TV. That's where, you know, all the kids get together. Maybe they have some advertisements or what clubs are coming up. And I have parents telling me that their kids are coming to tell them that on Wildcat TV, they have a promotion and they're promoting the elementary school LGBTQ club. And I have parents telling me that there's now some sort of competition between the schools who can get more members. Look, whatever. I go to the office and I ask respectfully, I'm a nice guy. People here, my friends, they know me. I just want to see what's on Wildcat TV. They said parents are not allowed to see what's on Wildcat TV. And let me tell you, if they think that we're getting tired, they're wrong. We're getting energized. And that is unacceptable. So we got big plans. And I hope you follow us because we're going to be going to the district and we're going to be submitting Freedom of Information Acts up and down the district at every school. It's unacceptable. last call to action. Here's another project we're working on. I met some people from Turning Point USA. And what we're doing, we are trying to inject counter-narrative groups in the schools. All right? We're trying, this is like an insurgency. So we need courageous students and teachers and some parents to help us out with that. And we're especially doing that in the schools that we flipped. And a matter of fact, we're making headway on the schools that we flipped because we flipped 4 in this region. Lakeside, Escondido, Fallbrook, and Temecula. So if you are interested in that endeavor, I have the connection with that TPUSA person. They could help you and provide top cover. We need to get these counter-narrative groups in. Lastly, you are all patriots. And you know, my friends, I'm a veteran. Okay? I've been deployed.
Thank you.
I've seen courage. But one of the things that I've been surprised at is the amount of people that I've met that are demonstrating an immense amount of courage. So I am absolutely proud to know you all. And we're not going away. 2023, baby. We're taking our country back. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a really good speech, Ben. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have Freedom Revival. Miguel Rodriguez coming. Woo! Give a round of applause, guys.
All right. What a turnout. It's good to see you guys here. My name is Miguel. I'm here as part of Freedom Revival. Our group is pretty legit.
Yeah.
We got we got Rooted Wings, we got Sean Fredrickson, we got Lou, Iridell, and myself, Fierce Communicator. And they asked me to come out and represent us because this event has gotten national attention. If you haven't noticed, it's everywhere. I mean, I think Tucker did a little bit on it, and Lexit stepped up and was like, you know what, let's continue to rally. Such a great organization. So Lexit, thank you for having us out. So I wanted to acknowledge you guys coming out. It's not always like the best thing to come out and stand in the sun. But here we are, right, doing it. So I'm going to start and just be so straight to the point. We're not here to discuss transgender issues. I'm not here to discuss homosexuality or gay. I'm not here to discuss trans rights or genetics. So if you're here to fight that battle, wrong battle. That's not what we're here for. I'm here to address a bigger issue. And this is a bigger issue than people's opinions, perspectives, on genetics or, anything like that. I'm here to address the safety and the safety of our youth, right? I'm here to address the importance of the heart and lives of our youth over the expressive feelings of adults. Because somehow it's gotten inverted. I could be a 56 or 62-year-old expressing my feelings, and it's been inverted, and we're sacrificing the hearts of youth. And that's what we're trying to fix here. That's what we're here to remedy. I'm going to take a little side because Freedom Revival posted. We were able to talk with one of the a representative of the YMCA. Used to work for the YMCA, and if you haven't seen the post, but I'm just going to read a little bit of what he said. He said, now, mind you, he's a retired president and CEO of YMCA, and he said, we used to play sports at the YMCA, and now it appears that the Y has chosen to play God. It's a very dangerous position to be in when you drag God into perversions. I feel like the Y has abandoned the Creator to worship the creation. Now, when it appears that good is seen as evil and evil as good, the Y probably needs to drop YMCA completely from the logo, as well as its aspiration of any Christian principles being included as guiding principles. Obviously, not everyone is a Christian, but certainly we can determine basic positions of right and wrong. He says, sorry, Santee Y, but you're wrong on this. Protect our children. Don't indoctrinate them with issues that they're not prepared to handle. This is someone who represented the Y, and he goes on later to say that now when people ask, what do you do? He goes, well, I work for nonprofits, and he just prays that they don't ask him which one, because he wants to drop the association with this. right? I mean, YMCA is a place that for many years has become, I mean, it's a place of care and even refuge for kids, right? You look at YMCA that extends all the way into LA, it would be a place of refuge for kids. Kids who maybe grew up with single parents, kids who were maybe struggling because they were on the streets, and YMCA was a home that was set to protect and house and care for them, right? Now I'm going to go into just straight facts, why you guys are here. And the focal point for Freedom Revival is to get YMCA to step up to the plate and do what's right. That's right. So I'm going to empower you guys with some knowledge. The YMCA is a 501c3. So a lot of the activists, the transgender activists, will come against the YMCA and say you need to protect our rights, right? And they'll try to come at them under the UNRU Act. The UNRU Act does not apply to a 501c3. The UNRU Act applies to businesses. So as a business, yes, I have to respect the gender, the race, the color, the creed of all the people who come in as a business under the UNRU Act. But the 501c3 doesn't operate that way. So the YMCA did not have to change their policies to cater to the pandering of a small 1%. They didn't have to do that. They chose to do that on their own. And that's what we're here to stand up against. They didn't have to. They made a choice, right? And so they're making a choice to put their children, the children that they swore to protect, in jeopardy, in fear of something that can't touch them. And this was something that happened. They were sued, the YMCA, they were sued. There was a case. It was Chapman versus YMCA. And they tried to sue them for this discrimination. And the court ruled that the YMCA was not in breach of the UNRU Act. It's already happened. It's already been tried. And the YMCA won. But now they were defending on the other side. But now they changed their policies. Let me explain to you a little bit of what's happening in the YMCA and some of their policies. So there's something that they have, the 6th grade camp. We're going to I'm just exposing all the grit. So if you're ready to hear this, they have something called the 6th grade camp. These are overnights that take place that the YMCA puts on. They also have day camps and those types of things. But I just wanted to read you some of the policies that they have changed. And this is as of April. As of April in 22, they changed this. So it wasn't here before. Now, they like to keep their mission in there. We nurture a healthy spirit, mind, and body so all can thrive while honoring our faith-based heritage. No, right? But let's dig into specifically, because that's what we're here for, right? The restroom locker room accessibility policy. You guys ready for this one?
Bring it.
Access to gender segregated spaces, men's and women's locker rooms, restrooms, overnight accommodation is based on the transgender member or participant's assessment of which facilities are safest and most comfortable for them. Isn't that crazy? Legal gender, physical genitalia, or gender expression do not dictate the use of gender segregated space. Trans individuals may select either locker room or restroom, requiring someone to use the bathroom or other gendered areas they do not identify with, can be detrimental. So this, area they do not identify, which can be detrimental to a trans individual's well-being and safety, and puts the YMCA at risk for discriminatory complaints. But again, we just determined they're not under the UNRU Act. You think that's bad? Check this out. This is for the overnight camp additional guidelines. I want you to hear this. This part got me, because then I started to realize that the sexualization of our youth is being prevalent, and it's infiltrating so many organizations. And when I read this, I was like, no, this can't be true. You wouldn't do something like this. And so what we say is that, we work in partnership with parents, right? But this is some of the cabin rules. Cabin group and assignment will reflect each child's identified gender. This is in their policy for overnight. So I dropped my 6th grader off at camp, and what I have to read now, and it says that it is possible that not all parents, legal guardians, are aware of or supportive of their child's gender identity. Regardless, the YMCA of San Diego will respect and affirm a young person's gender identity of all Y San Diego facilities, activities, and camps. If the parents are not aware of a change cabins, it is made available to them. So I'm a kid and I decide, well, I want to do this. I'm at camp. It's going to be made available for me as a boy to go hang out with the girls. Here's what should be done. This is what they say. Meet with the camper and inform them that this conversion will stay confidential. These are sixth graders. Not the parents. Let the camper know that we will honor their request to the best of our ability. If there is room for a camper to change between cabins, this request should be honored. Inform the camper that while the YMCA will not disclose this information, their parents may still become aware by looking at photos. The YMCA will not tell the parents that their kid decided, I'm a girl today.
Just today.
I'm a girl today, and so I want to sleep inside of the camps and the girls. So I want you guys to be armed with this, because this is what we need to stand up against. This is not just about rallying together. It's not just about coming together and speaking our voice. It's deliberate. So one of the things that we created at Freedom Revival, and I want you guys to be able to look it up, because you guys probably know families and parents who are struggling or who have stories. So remember this email, exposeymca@proton.me, exposeymca@proton.me. I want you guys to gather testimonies. I want you guys to gather stories, and I want you to send them in. We have a number of them that have already come in. I can't read them right now because most of them are trying to remain anonymous because they're either active or they have prominent positions. Another thing that I can say, we have spoken with major donors. Now, the YMCA, just so you know, is one of the largest nonprofits in the nation, both with donations and income, right? Because it's been established for a long time. We have spoken with major donors who are upset about this issue.
Good. Yes.
And they're ready to walk away if the YMCA does not change their policies. Okay? So this is about action. I love that you guys are here. And I love that you guys are standing strong. But now the work is going to be even more. You're going to have to go out, get testimonies, talk with teachers, talk with students, talk with people who are part of the way and part of this, and expose YMCA at proton.me. And that's what I want you guys to send those in. The more we get, the more we can send to the donors. And if the donors decide to walk away, this dissipates. It's what was said before, that the people can put pressure, right? The people can put pressure on those that stand in their community. And that's how you guys are going to take actions, you know, in this stance. And I'll leave you guys with this. As you guys start to rally and come together, do not let the arguments pull you into the wrong direction. Right? I didn't have to get up here and say anything bad about a person. I didn't have to get up here and even mention the gentleman's name. He doesn't get credit. He doesn't get credit, right? So you guys can stand and fight in a proper way that's going to have impact. Because my hope is that after these events, there's so many testimonies and stories that come in about what the YMCA is doing. So much pressure is put on them that some of the largest donors step away. YMCA starts losing a lot of income, and they realize that if they don't change their perspective, they're going to implode.
Yes, that's right.
And that's what we're here to do. So take action. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So that was it for all of our speakers here today. Exit San Diego and all the other organizations, Freedom Revivals, SoCal Parents Advocates. We want to thank you guys for being here today. And we're going to close this out with a beautiful prayer for everyone. Remember, we are agents of God, and we're going to keep this fight going. So let's end this with a beautiful prayer, and hope everyone enjoys the rest of their weekend. Everyone drive safely and be safe out there, and let's keep this going.
Amen.
I'm gonna say a prayer, and I just want to say we need to put Jesus Christ back into our country.
Yes.
We need to put back Jesus Christ into our schools.
Yes.
And even churches.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
And especially in our hearts.
Yep.
We have fallen away. We have fallen away from the Lord. This is why all this is happening. We have compromised. We have compromised. And we know that there's only two genders. There's male and female. There's no, that's in the book of Genesis. He created Adam and Eve. So we need to continue getting closer to the Lord. We need to repent and get it right. Even if you fall back down, you get back up and you give your heart back to Jesus. This is the way we're going to get back our country, get back our California, get back, what the enemy took from us, because the enemy took us and robbed us blind. And so here, we claim this territory. We claim this territory here, and we are giving it to the Lord. We're giving it back to Him. We're giving it back to Him. So, Lord Jesus, we come before you right now, Father God. We come before you, Lord, knowing who you are. You are mighty. You are awesome. You are great, and you're merciful, God. You're merciful. And we just ask you, Father, to help us, Father. Help us to get closer to you. Help us to rise up in unity. Help us to come against this demonic force that wants to pervert our children and take the rights away from the women and children. Lord, we just want to give it all to you, Father, and we're going to come forward, Father, to you and give us our heart, give our hearts to you, and give us our lives to you, Father. We ask you, Lord, to help us, strengthen us, edify us. Help us, Lord. Help us in our weaknesses. Help us in our struggles, Lord. Help us, Lord. So we ask you, Lord, in your precious name, Lord, let everyone go home safely, Father, to and fro, wherever they may go, Father. And we ask you, Lord, to be with us. Be with us, and we know that you are with us, Lord. You are with us, and just help us to keep pushing. Help us to keep striving, Father, to do right before your eyes. In Jesus' mighty name, we thank you. Amen. Woo!
Sorry, my mic was muted. So we'll see if maybe Belissa or Becky or Jules wants to come on camera. They're filming right now. But you know what? In just a minute after, we'll see if they want to speak, which maybe they do. And then if they don't come on camera, I don't know if they can hear me right now. I'm gonna text Belissa.
I can hear you, Amy. This is Jules.
Hey, Jules, do you want to say anything?
Hey.
We had a lot of comments, a lot of things that people and women liked, a lot of things that were concerning in terms of the direction, the heading and direction of the event. But I'd love to get your thoughts if you want to share some. I don't know if you want to turn your hey, Belissa.
Yeah, let me try and turn the camera around.
Hey, I can see you.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great shot of the Y behind you. So of course, we got some comments where were the women, why the religious focus, but I'd love to get your overall reactions to the crowd. Thank you for getting some great shots of the kind of counter protesters. We heard Gays Against Groomers was there, but I didn't see them.
I didn't see them either, honestly. There were 3 counter protesters, a woman, an older woman with a younger girl, and then some LARPing male who has a trans flag cloaked over him. And then there was one more man who was here dressed as a woman, and his mother was here that had a "I support my child" or proud parent
Yeah. Yep.
sweatshirt on. So I guess that's 5 total. And this is a pretty big crowd. I would say it ended up probably being about 150, 200 people.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, no, it filled up. And it's a religious organization. They're the ones that organized it. I would have loved to have spoke. I tried to get the guy's attention at the end. I was back there like waving my hand.
Yeah.
But it seems like they had their agenda and their plan. And I didn't agree with everything they said either. I was honestly pretty surprised at the second speaker. I think he was the gentleman with the beard who said he doesn't have any problem with transgender multiple times. That surprised me.
Yeah, I was like, I do.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait. And I'm over here filming, so I can't like be all, like I can't go crazy as much as I would love to have been like, excuse me. But it's a good crowd, and it's a lot of my impression is it's a lot of parents. It's a lot of parents that just want to protect their children, and the people that I spoke to here, because we got here, about an hour beforehand, and the women that I spoke to before this started, I think the kind of baffling, the question of the day was, will they provide gender neutral spaces? So I don't understand why was this man still trying to get in. And so it was really interesting to have those conversations, to be like, well, that's the point. It's the boundary crossing. It's the violation. That's they're saying it themselves. It's like you just sometimes have to like wrap it all, put a bow on it. But yeah, it was great to come out and talk to people who are relatively on the same page. At the very least, they agree that men should not be in women's spaces. So
yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I love that part. The more sort of hardline they were on that, I really appreciated. I heard one guy, I think it was, who was basically like, if they had all the right surgeries and had all the right look, and I was just like, no.
Well, and I heard that from a lady here too, and she wasn't necessarily making the argument to me and that she believed it. It was more of a question, because it was funny. She was she thought I was there supporting. I was here supporting the man. And I was like, oh no. I was like, clearly, I'm here supporting the women. I got my turf, my little bum cap.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, she was like, well, but from my understanding, he's had all of his surgeries. And I said, okay, well then he's a eunuch. He's still not a man or woman. He's still not a woman. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Castrated men are not women. Yeah.
Right. A castrated man is still a man. He just is a castrated one. It's as simple as that. So, really great to come out and have conversations with people and kind of like get a temperature of the different levels of peaked, I guess you could say, that people are and where they see concern.
Yeah.
Because seems like everyone, you get peaked personally and you come at it from different angles. So yeah, one lady, she expressed that, it's like, how do people not know that this is happening? And it's like, well, how can you? No, there are no news. I asked her, I said, well, tell me a news service that is reporting on this.
Yeah.
Aside from Fox News, aside from Tucker Carlson, who else is talking about this? And it's like, no one. Well, then how are some people supposed to know? Like, it's one of those things, like, until it happens to you, right?
Yep, absolutely. Wow. Well, I really appreciate you all going out there and getting the coverage. I think that there was just there's a lot of things in the speeches I agreed with. There was, definitely things that were, outside of my belief system. I think we're going to have a pretty good chat. There was a lot going on in the chat, of course. So I think we'll have a good conversation about that.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Activists.
I would have loved to have spoken and to be like, LGB, we do not support this, and I don't believe. If I believe in a God, he certainly isn't a man.
Yeah.
But women are with you in this issue. But we got their information. Apparently, there's different chapters of this organization, so maybe we can show up at one closer and speak more on behalf of women,
Yeah.
and not on behalf of God.
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
it were. So
absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that. I love
Oh,
that.
here. Want to say
Yay.
Melissa?
Hey, Melissa. I'm so glad you all were there. I appreciate all of you being there and getting such good coverage for us. Of course, there's a lot of conversation in the chat going on, as you can imagine. I was just talking to Jules and was wondering about any feedback that you want to give us about the kind of feeling at the event, your take on the speeches. What are you getting from people?
Well, I have a lot of things to say. I'm Melissa Cohen. We drove down from LA to participate. We're having a blast, I would say, as we always do. But a few things is, this is a very mixed group of people. Yeah, they talk about Jesus. Yeah, they talk about religion a lot. I'm an atheist. I'm also a Jew. And I feel safer in a group of people talking about religion. Maybe not my religion, because I feel like they have some moral values that are maybe kind of good values that maybe we all share. And this is put on partially by Lexit, which is Latinos leaving the left. So there's a lot of people here who aren't white. Whatever people want to think about Christians, that they're all white and they're all right wing. These people also keep talking about they don't hate gays, they don't hate trans. We need to explain to them that there's no such thing as these gender people.
Yeah.
I've been doing some networking, talking to the organizers.
Love it.
And the speakers, talking to them about how there's just no such thing, and we're LGBT activists from LA, and we don't think that has to be the narrative, that we can explain that promoting transgenderism is grooming.
Yeah.
And we don't side with groomers against groomers, if you know that group.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I call them. Groomers aligned with groomers is what I
they
call
are. Them. They absolutely are. You are 100% right.
Yeah. We can
and
call
everyone.
them.
Yeah, everyone who doesn't know, first of all, Melissa was the organizer behind the LA, the first Let Women Speak event in LA. She was the main organizer there. So it's great to have her here. And Melissa also recently stood up against one of those groomers with groomers on the Megan Fox podcast. So everyone should check that out. She made some really great points just about why we don't care what men call themselves and they don't belong in women's spaces.
Yeah, the idea that and it's an intact male or not an intact male isn't the point, because if a man has his genitals repurposed and relocated into another spot in his groin, does not mean he's not a man. And he, there's only one thing he cannot do, and he can do anything else in his head that he wants to do except maybe one thing. But yeah. So anyway, this whole narrative about male puberty or intact male or this is it's just red herrings, and I don't buy into that. But so I made some connections with people so that hopefully the next time these people do a protest, they'll platform those of us who don't believe in gender people and don't have to say that they support people with opposite sex ideation, because that's just going down the wrong path. So The other thing is there were some counter protesters, about 3 of them or 4 of them, and they're hiding behind the rainbow colors and saying, one of them said, she was fully transitioned. Well, now I don't know, there was dispute about that, whatever that means, there's dispute. But as I said, a man who has his genitals repurposed to put inside a cavity of his body still has a penis. It's there. And, it doesn't go away. It's there. I mean, in a horrible accident, maybe, but as we know with the clitoris, there's organs inside your body that are not visible. And, anyway,
Exactly.
I'm here to counteract some nonsense besides doing the live stream. Anyway, that's a long speech.
Well, I really appreciate you all being there. The sound, by the way, you can tell Becky was incredible. There was a few teeny moments where it cut out and I don't know what happened, but it was really incredible. Your picture quality is incredible. So I appreciate you all being there. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Becky. I know she doesn't like getting on camera. Thank you to Jules, and thank you to Suzanne for getting such great coverage of this event. We really appreciate it.
It's all Becky. Becky is so talented, and it always works when Becky does it. That's why Hollywood, the Let Women Speak, was so excellent. She also worked on a couple of the other ones, helped them out. So everybody needs a Becky.
Everyone does need a Becky, absolutely. Well, great. I hope that I really hope that you have made those connections. Thank you for doing that legwork, because of course that's like the number one comment. Like we want to hear more women speak. So I'm glad that we get to have this conversation with you right now. And I think that these groups that are starting to show up and do it, they need our insights. They need the research that we've already done on this topic. And I know you have done the research and the talking points, and they need to hear that from us.
I was sharing Jennifer Bielik's name wherever I could.
Yay, I love that.
Jennifer Bielik. Read about Jennifer Bielik.
And these people are already on the same page with so much of what we know and believe and think. And I think it's just a little bit of a jog in one direction or another to make them understand that transgenderism is homophobia, and that, this guy told me, a guy on our side, well, it's been around for thousands of years. And I started explaining to him why probably that is maybe not so true.
Good.
And, I think these people will listen, whereas the left won't listen.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. It's crazy. There was no real counter protest. I didn't see any Antifa there. So it's just really, it's interesting that these people come out against women, but they don't come out against these groups that are largely men speaking. I find that very interesting.
I think it's because they're lazy. I find Antifa very lazy, and they don't like to get out of bed, and they don't like to drive. Like, it's very hard. Like, they're like, was it Naomi Campbell or the other one who said, I don't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day. I always think of that when I think of Antifa. So there were some Antifa sympathizers. I have a particular nemesis who's like he writes stuff pro. So he's here. He drove down from LA. And there's a couple of people standing with those counter protesters filming. So they have a small presence, but we'll see if anybody, but they're lazy. They're like,
oh my gosh, that's crazy. Hey, Suzanne, I see you're on as well.
Hi.
Do you want to give us your thoughts about the event?
I had to turn mine off for a little while. I got a little heated because I started engaging with the folks that were here. Looked like there were like a couple moms of trans kids, maybe. Yeah, poor young boy that I'm sure you saw him on film. That was like just breaking my heart to see him. I concur. I think I got on earlier and was saying that I got some warnings that I should leave. from some groups just because of optics. Like they, a lot of people are concerned about, oh, how it looks if you're in the same presence as some extremist groups, right? But I mean,
why isn't the left concerned about the extremist group they're in bed with?
I know. Like I said, maybe I'm just really gullible to that. I don't know, but like really, I don't care. This is too important of an issue. I'm not going to be scared to not be somewhere. Everyone deserves to have a voice, including them, really. I mean, if they want to be here and say what they want to say. But yeah, I mean, it's, obviously this crosses over a lot of groups, this men and women, man, woman, XX, XY, it crosses over into a lot of different subjects. And, it is biblical, God created man and woman. Not everyone is an atheist. A lot of people have been, following the Bible for a long time, and that's what God said.
Well, I'm glad that atheists and Christians and whatever other religions people are can stand together. So I thank you all for bringing your perspectives. I thank you for just even all of you being there. That makes a difference. That is us. That we are the ones who are really leading this charge. There was some great comments in the chat that made the observation that, these people have really got their talking points from us. We have led the charge. We have led the way. And now these other groups are standing up. But, that is thanks to the legwork that we have put in. So
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
All right.
Did you see the shirt that says, "I'm not a biologist, but I know I'm a woman"?
No, that's great. I love that.
It's straight out of Kelly J's mouth. And I tried to explain to the woman buying it where it came from. And she goes, "Did you see Matt Walsh's documentary? You have to see it." And so it's true that they're getting their talking points from us. And, the important thing is that they're saying it, not who's, what I mean? It's sad that women aren't getting the credit, but it's more important that it's being said and that it's trickling down. And I told the guy, the speaker in the hat, who said he was a dad, and I explained to him why you shouldn't support the gays who believe in transgenderism, and that's, they're supporting groomers. And I explained why, and he said, "That's interesting because I have a friend who won't join Gays Aligned with Groomers because he says that's just not good. That dog's not going to hunt, basically." And so there are people out there, and again, even the less dominant narrative is telling us lies. We have the mainstream media telling us lies, and then we have our kind of bubble mainstream media is also telling us lies, that this is what the gays think. And again, we can't believe it just because we hear it reported. So we're out here explaining to people, as again, word of mouth, it's got to start with word of mouth, and it's not a top down, it's a bottom up. So everybody talk to your friends and explain to them, because people say it's our elected officials. Well, elected officials aren't going to get it until they get pressure. So who can start with the top? You never do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you all are really amazing. I'm going to put this up. I mean, it is up on Twitter, just so you know. This goes out to my Twitter. It goes out to my Facebook. It goes out to my YouTube. Between all of those platforms, there's over almost 300 women have been tuning into this today. So I very much appreciate your willingness to make this happen. We're all very curious, regardless of whether we agree with everything 100%. This is a public record of our dissent. We keep creating records of people saying they do not agree with this, they don't condone it. So I could not put this on without your participation. And I appreciate you being out there, and I look forward to doing many more.
Thank you for giving,
Thanks.
thanks for posting, for having the platform for
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Anything to get the word out, So
Yeah.
yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you, Amy.
All right. Much love to you, ladies.
All right.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
All right, friends. So here we are, and we are back amongst ourselves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up, oh, wait, where is my, I'm going to put up this just in case, because I know things got a little spicy in the comments. So if anyone wants to call in, I will absolutely welcome you doing that. I think there's a lot of different opinions about who we stand next to, whether covering an event like this means that we are in alignment with the organizers. I don't feel, for myself personally, I don't feel that covering this event means that we are in alignment with every single value set that the organizers hold. I do think this, to me, is another example of the public record of our dissent and covering people who are standing up against this ideology. And I want to be a person who is standing up against the ideology and cover everyone else who is. But I know that women had everyone had a strong opinion. And I think I actually really welcome that, because to me, what that means when women have such strong opinions is it means that you are passionate. We are all very passionate. That's a great question from Lavender. What does winning mean? I think it, of course, the very easy answer to that question is that it's going to mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To me, it will. Oh, here we go. I'm going to get a call in. Okay, here we go. Oops, I lost you. Call again. I just lost you. Call back if you can. I see that you called and you hung up rather quickly. But if you want to call in, I'm going to call, where are you? No, you were too slow. So call back if I didn't go quickly enough to catch that number. I'm going to put the number back on. Here. Winning means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I think that the main thing is that we would protect sex-based rights for women. That's it for me, that we would have sex-based safeguarding, and that we would not allow this medicalization to happen to kids. I am guessing that we are gonna win this. We're gonna have to claim territory step by step. I don't think it's gonna be something that we see all at once. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna accept. Hey. Where are we? Yes. Press one. I am pressing one. Keypad. Where am I? Can you hear me? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you there? Oh, hold on. I don't know why this isn't working. Darn it. I don't know why. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to call you back. We'll see. We'll see if this works. No. Hey, are you there? Hey, Chakana, welcome to the chat. I know that you were at the other event earlier this week, so I'd love to get your thoughts on this conversation. Hey. Yep. Oh, hold on 1 second. They're saying they can't hear you. Hold on. So hold on. Let me see what I can do, friends. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me see. Now, okay, speak again. Oh, yeah, now can you hear? It's Chicana. Can everyone in the chat hear now? Can they hear her now? Speak again, Chicana. Now can you hear everyone? Can you hear her? Darn it. Okay, hold on. I don't understand why they're only hearing me. Yeah, call back. Yeah, call back one more time. Okay, hang up and call back. Okay. Okay, she's gonna call right back. That was Chicana Feminist. I'm sorry you guys missed the beginning of that conversation. I'm sorry that you only heard me. I don't understand why the sound, I don't understand why the sound is doing that. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna. Call from Chicana Feminista. To accept, press. Okay, now I have now just like patched you in on my phone. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I was at the rally. I was at the Santee YMCA rally on Wednesday. And this is very personal for me because I am a YMCA patron. You know, that's where I take my child. And that's where my wife and I have been, you know, working out. And, you know, we're really deeply involved with the Y. So this has been very personal to me as a member, as a mother, as a community member too, because even though it's Santee, the fact that this happened at that Y could very well happen at the Y where we go to, and a pool just got installed. So what I wanted to really sort of like provide you with is the people on the opposition are very interesting people, because that night, that's where I had found parking, and it was like right adjacent to the TRA dance party.
Oh, the dance party. Nice. Go on.
Huh?
Go on. You were near the dance party.
So I started out at the dance party to look for your lady that was on the ground, but like I was saying, like there were other people with cameras and a lot of YouTube presence there. I mean, this was very covered. You didn't really get to see like what was going on the outskirts of the park, but there was a lot of buzz and absolutely just very diverse kind of people everywhere. You know, in all age ranges, all races, and mostly in support for Rebecca. It was a really huge turnout. But when I got there, you know, right away, they saw my sign, and I turned into a very contentious figure for them, that they started following me around. I actually was recording this man who was following me because, you know, I get really scared. It was really dark, and sadly, I was there by myself.
No.
A friend of mine, I mean, there are no other known perps to me here in Southern California. A friend of mine bailed on me because she got a little scared at, you know, how highly politicized this was. So, you know, there was even a guy that at some point, did take my phone. He realized what he had done. You know, they have this like pretty strong impulse to just, you know, hurt me or violate me in whatever way they could. And they reached for my phone, and I think this kid, he must have been like maybe like young, like 23, realized, you know, this is just stupid, and he just dropped it. It was really crazy. I also have a video of one of the socialist women that were there from this I guess that would be the Antifa presence. It was a very small socialist San Diego group that I had previously engaged with that day on Facebook, and I told them, like, don't fucking show up. Please don't show up. you're going to be making fools of yourselves, because this rally I knew this rally is heavily supported by a lot of religious people, a lot of parents in these counties. You know, they're very active. They're a very strong community in this county. And, you know, that's exactly what's needed. That's one of the reasons I wanted to call in, is because I get it. Like, as a radical feminist now, I don't want to see more men in our faces. I don't want to hear more men. No, this is true. Not on this. They have not been good allies. They don't know what this has been like.
Yeah.
Self-ID is an existential threat to all women. They don't get it. However, the fact that some of them are starting to get it, it's needed. It's needed, because only these men are going to be able to put these other freaking monsters in check. We haven't been able to do it with great success, have we? It is a very, very difficult topic to navigate in the public. Okay, so the fact that there are men willing to step up and do this work with us. You know, I'm not going to sit here and complain about every nuance of what they're saying. And, you know, I grew up Catholic. I'm very anti-religion because of that. And no, I don't want to hear it. It's not a message that I personally believe in. However, it's a message that comes with the conviction that we're trying to fucking accomplish here. And it's needed. So, you know, I get it. Some radical feminists, you know, just yesterday we had an episode with a YouTuber who, you know, also platformed men in a space where we don't want men platformed. And this is an issue. There will be women that are coming into this fight who will be called TERF, but they're not. They're adjacent, and they still don't get what a lot of radical feminists have been saying about these issues.
Yeah.
However, I'm very attuned to the idea that men can and will help us, and I want them to.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to stand in their way, and that's just not going to be a message that I'm ever going to support. We need men.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope that, you know, as, you know, I hope that there will be crossover, and I hope that there will be more opportunities for women to show up to conservative events, and for, you know, conservatives to show up to our events. It would be great. It would be great if there could be some solidarity on that, in my opinion. And we need, the fact of the matter is, we need everyone, you know, for those of us who live in the United States. And I know that a lot of the women watching, yes, Mary Jo, this is live. I know a lot of the women watching are from other countries, but of course here our political system is bifurcated into two, where, you know, there's just two parties, and the country is pretty much divided right in half. So we can't pretend like we don't need that other half of the country from whatever side you're coming from. You know, you can't, if you are conservative on this issue, you can't pretend like you don't need liberals, and liberals can't pretend that we don't need conservatives. We do need one another. And I think that the more that there is communication across talking points, I think there's ways that we can disagree on, there's ways that we can disagree on perspectives, religions, other political beliefs. But I think that we have certain value sets that we share, and that includes how we talk about this ideology. Awesome. Well, thank you, Chakana, for being in the chat, and thank you for just continuing to attend these events. And I heard you got kicked off Twitter, by the way.
I'm sorry, you were breaking me a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you got kicked off of Twitter.
Yes.
What?
You know, I just wanted to say something else.
Oh yeah, please do.
Already, I mean, just coming into this conversation, I've always been a feminist. You know, feminist issues, and I'm talking real feminism, not third wave, and certainly not this woke feminism. I'm talking about woman-focused feminism. That's always been where I have been. But this issue with self-ID is, of course, you know, it's something that lesbians know all too well. I find it hard to imagine how any lesbian that lived through the 80s and the 90s is not seeing this for what it is. And I know that actually the majority of lesbians, 35 plus, do get it. But it's very hard for me to see that. But what I wanted to say is that, as a feminist coming into this fight, I've already intersected with many different women that I would never have intersected politically with, okay? I mean, that's already happened. And, I never thought that I would be rubbing elbows with right-wing women at some of the foster events that I've gone to where, we also talk about self-ID and we sort of huddle. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm talking to very bright, very intelligent, very conservative women. And you know what? Right on. I can listen. I can hear what they have to say. We can merge here and be a strong force in this. And I mean, it's already happened with women. I don't see why we cannot allow that to also happen with some men who are willing to help us in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I absolutely agree. Well, I appreciate you being on, and I think I'm gonna try and take maybe 1-2 more callers and then wrap this up. We've already been here for a few hours, but Chicana, thank you as always for your participation. Love seeing you in the chat and love speaking to you live.
Definitely, and thank you for all your wonderful work in support of this cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. All right, I'm gonna put up the call number. I think I'm gonna keep this going for about 15 more minutes. So if anyone else wants to call and have a chat with me and speak your thoughts about this event that we just saw, I am happy to share them. I think I want to observe something to everyone. This is something I've been speaking a lot about with Kay Yang. And I think that we need to really remind ourselves that the entire algorithm around social media, it wants us to fight. That is its job. It knows that when we fight amongst ourselves, that is how it creates engagement, drama. It keeps you sucked in. So one of the things that I do, and I do encourage everyone else to do, is to fight against the algorithm and to kind of disrupt the narrative that the algorithm is trying to tell. And one tactic that I use myself in order to do that, and I think that we all can, is if I see a woman say something that I don't agree with, rather than arguing with that woman on her feed, I simply state what I feel. So I don't present it as an argument against what she's saying. I just present it as my own idea on my own page. And that way it keeps us from, getting in fights with one another. And as much as possible, if we can disrupt that narrative, I think that there's a lot that gets said about sisterhood and what it is and what it isn't. And the thing is, someone said this, I think it was last week, someone said this, but sisterhood is for everyone, but I don't have to be everyone's sister. Sisterhood is for everyone, but it doesn't mean you have to be that woman's sister. Just because I don't want to be, such and such as a sister and have her in my group, she deserves sisterhood from other women. And I think that this sisterhood is something we create amongst ourselves, and we don't have to be one giant cohesive group. We can be, we can organize in smaller groups amongst ourselves with those that we share values with, and I think that we all of us deserve the women that we share values with, and I know that it's, I don't know. I know that it's a challenge because we're all so passionate. That's what I saw in the chat today. We are all absolutely so passionate that we have strong opinions. And I try to remind myself of that because of course we all get triggered. I have people that I sometimes Hey, welcome. Hey, welcome. You're on. Can you hear me?
Hey, Amy.
Yeah. Who is this? Oops. Hold on. Someone else is.
This is Beatrix video.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to send that one to voicemail. This is so funny because my phone is ringing twice, but you're on, and why are you still ringing? Okay, I'm sending that call to voicemail because I've already accepted your call. Beatrix, is this you? Is that what you said?
It's me.
Yay!
From the Great White North.
Great. Welcome. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Thank you for being in the chat and being part of this today.
Oh, thank you for hosting. Can everybody hear me?
I think everyone can hear you.
Okay. Hey. I was just thinking while I was watching this rally, and I've seen other ones, right? Where there's a whole debate around, are women aligning themselves, or radical feminists aligning themselves, or gender critical women aligning ourselves with religious evangelical. Good point. I forget who said that in the chat, a couple people, but evangelical conservatives, like Matt Walsh, stuff like that. I'm in Canada, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know enough about law that the point I just wanted to make was that ultimately, when it comes down to it, we've had separation of church and state in the Western countries for a long, long time. No matter, even if I understand that in
Oh, I lost you for some reason. Are you there? Oh, I lost sound on you. Oh, friends? Oh no. I lost her. I lost Beatrix. Oh no. Let's see if we can call her back. Okay, hold on. Sorry, friends. I'm gonna get this. I need to get this a little better with my call-in situation. I know the sound isn't great on this, and that's because it's coming through my phone. Because I don't know, there was a problem with it coming through my computer speaker, which normally works, but I don't know why it's not working today. So I apologize for that. I'm gonna have to do a sound check after this. But I'm gonna put up the number again just in case. Okay, let me put up the number again. Okay, we'll put up the number again. We'll hope that oh, I know, Beatrice, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna put up the number again. I'm gonna try and accept the call on my computer. Oh my gosh. Silliness. Oh, wait, I need that back. Where is my number? There it is. Okay. See if that works again, friends. I don't know. I think maybe if this works or that it doesn't work, I may take this as my last caller. I need to figure this out better. I need to figure my call-in situation better because I hate that the sound is being so weird. And I know that sound is just one of the hugest issues. But I'll just cover time for a few more minutes. And if not, we'll let this go. So just to say, here we go. I'm going to try and accept it here. We'll see if I can accept it. Hey, Beatrix, can everyone hear? Can everyone hear her? Did you just hear her say hello? Can someone in the chat tell me if you can hear? My chat is on pause. I can hear you. Oh no, they They cannot hear you. I don't understand what is the situation is. Hold on. Let me go to this settings, audio default, speaker default. Yep. Speaker is default. I'm going to turn off echo cancellation. How about now? Okay. No.
How about now?
How about now, friends? No.
Hello?
Okay, I'm going to call you on my phone.
Okay.
Okay. We're calling her on my phone. We're seeing if that's going to work. I don't get it. You guys, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand what this tech problem is. And now it's not, my phone isn't even calling. My phone is not working. I don't get it. You guys, okay, I don't get it. I don't understand why that's not working. I'm a little frustrated and frazzled about that, but maybe my chat is paused. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I hate when that happens. All right. Well, I want to just thank everyone. Maybe I think I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for being here today. And I really, I think that it's just important to encourage everyone to keep sharing their voices, whether or not we are always in perfect agreement. I think being able to not be in agreement is something that we can practice together. And I do appreciate dissenting opinions. You know, I have very strong opinions, so I definitely don't agree with everyone. There are even some very famous so-called TERFs who I do not agree with. But I try to present my opinions as my own, and as much as possible not get into direct fights. And also, okay, the sun is also moving. I appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Please share. Please comment. I really want to thank everyone who, Bobina and Gay Chapman, and I think there's someone else I'm forgetting who gave me some super chats today. That money goes directly back into my activism. It goes to support this hosting service that I use for my live streams. So I use those things to cover that cost. I thank you all for being here today. Thank you to my mods. Thanks people for being here from all over the globe. We are a global community. Our voices are really important. And just so women know, please keep me posted of your events that you are doing in other countries, because I want to amplify those. I'll retweet them. If you're doing an event in this country, I'll put it on my platform. If you are doing an event in another country, do let me know, because I will, again, I'll come and watch those live streams. It's really important for us to spread this. This is the record of our descent, as we say. In 2023, this is the year of non-compliance 2023. So I hope that you will all continue to push back in your lives however you can. You're always free to email me. My email, just so you know, is theknownheretic@gmail.com. You can share your thoughts with me there. You can always reach me on my Twitter. I have classes that I'm going to be posting. I'm just finishing up a 14-week class on the women who run with the wolves. I'm going to launch another of that class. It was really successful, so I'll be launching another women who run with the wolves class. I will keep you all posted on that. I will also be launching Substack coming soon, where you can read my analysis, which is very much a value-based analysis grounded in our embodiment and instincts, and why those are so important when grappling with mass indoctrination. So I'm going to be putting that out there. And lastly, I'm going to be doing another class, which is a class that is on instincts, embodiment, and the imagination, and looking at how our creative capacities are also very important in coming at these issues. So that class will be slightly lecture, but slightly practical, and that we'll do creative activities together. And really, I want women to be doing the work that helps them grow themselves in their instincts, in their boundaries, in their intuition. So anyone who is already one of my super followers gets a discount, but I will be launching those soon. So look forward to those. And I really thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all today, and I will speak with you soon. Bye-bye.